Hi, friends. Welcome back to Shut Up, Tell Me More. Today, I am joined by the fabulous Sharon Pfeiffer. Sharon, your story is like a Martin Scorsese movie mixed with a one-woman Broadway show. You have lived so many lives. You've been a mob girlfriend, a mob wife. You're an actress. You're a playwright. You're a stand-up comedian. You're a podcaster. Like, is there anything you can't do? It's incredible.
I have a hard time changing a light bulb.
Same.
Fingernails, but yeah.
But other than that, everything else.
Yeah. Well,
So I want to jump right in.
yes,
You were raised in Long Island.
yes.
One of 6.
Yes.
What was your household like?
Well, chaotic, but we all, we walked a tightrope. It was a strict household, Catholic, Irish, Italian, Catholic household. But my mom was a stay-at-home mom. It was not an upper middle class or anything like that. We lived a traditional household. But I have 4 brothers, 1 sister. My oldest brother Jimmy did pass away in 2020. May he rest in peace. And my mom just recently passed away, so may my mom rest in peace as well. Yeah. But it was a traditional upbringing, I have to say that. But once I got a little bit older, it was anything but traditional. We'll dive into that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went to Catholic school, and I was a middle child, 3rd of 6, and it was. I say traditional. It really was. It was a good upbringing, and my parents, terrific,
Yeah.
it was, I don't know, I can't say much about my childhood. It was pretty traditional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were talking before we started airing, and you're so direct.
Yes.
Is that a result of like being a middle child and wanting to have your voice heard?
I would say yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think being a middle child, and I was always a little peanut. I still am.
Yes.
But I was always very teeny tiny, and I think I just wanted my voice to be heard. But also, I think being an Aries, if any of you know anything about the zodiac, so yeah, I'm very direct, I'm very forward, and I think, as I told you earlier, I would rather be disliked for telling you the truth than liked for telling you a lie. So
Yes.
that's pretty much how I've led my life, and it's a blessing and a curse. Some people like me for it, some people don't like me for it.
I love it. I want Aunt Sharon to teach me your ways because
No, you
being
don't.
direct is freedom. It really is speaking your mind. It's like, that's it. You leave it
Yeah.
on the table. It's so good. Are your siblings like you?
No,
Wow.
absolutely
Okay.
not. No, my sister Jeanette, who's 2 years older than I am, she is the complete opposite of me. She's completely opposite of myself. So different from me. Like, I'm glitz and glam like you are.
Yep.
And my sister, we're like Green Acres. Like she is, you don't know what that reference is.
Of course I do.
Do you? Oh,
Yes.
okay, because he's so young.
Yeah. No, there
But
was
like
Nick at Night.
she's, I'm, the glitz and the glam, and she is happy in, jeans, sneakers, a t-shirt. She's smoked cigarettes her whole life. I've never smoked a cigarette. She drinks beer. I drink champagne. We're total opposites. My brothers are all just very different, just completely different
Yeah.
from myself. Yeah, I'm probably, I don't want to say I'm the white sheep or the black sheep,
Yeah.
but whatever color sheep they are, I am not.
Yes. You're a sheep of some sort. Yes. But not a follower. So,
No, and I've never been a follower.
Yeah.
I've never even, all in high school, I was always a little quirky. Like, I took cosmetology in high school. My hair was every different color you could imagine. And I'm talking way back when that wasn't normal.
Yeah.
Like, I went to FIT in New York City, Fashion Institute. I
Yeah. Wow, you've always just like been on your own path.
Yeah.
So, are any of your family members like mob connected? Like, do
No,
they?
absolutely not.
So, is this like a
No.
crazy? Like, is your life story insane to them?
Yes.
Hey,
Yes. Like even when I first ventured into that realm,
yeah.
it was all like, what are you doing?
So you
What
didn't
is
grow up around this?
No, not at all. Although my mom is Italian,
Yeah.
but that was not, that was a fringe kind of a thing.
Wow.
That was not, it was not how I was brought up at all, not even a little bit.
So
No.
when do you get introduced to this whole world?
Well, I can tell you the quick, short version of how I got introduced to it. So, as soon as I was able to start going out to clubs, which was a huge thing when I was growing up, so especially in Long Island and Brooklyn, everybody went out to discos. I mean, it was 7 nights a week. We went out to clubs. I mean, every night of the week. And one of the big clubs in Long Island was a club called 231. And I used to go out I was doing nails at the time. I was a nail tech, but we called them manicurists back then.
Yes.
And myself and my manicurist girlfriends, we always went out after work. And we were all in 231. And in walks Sonny Francisi's daughter, Gia, who I had no idea who she was. But back in the day, I was like, my girlfriends, we were like hot little numbers. And we would, stand around. And for whatever reason, the phrase I'm going to use, I'm so sorry because you're so cute.
I love
She had such a hard on for me. And I don't know
Yeah.
why she did, but she did. And she like wanted to like beat me up or something. And I didn't know who she was, by the way, just so you know. I didn't know, Sonny Francisi's daughter. That didn't mean anything to me. And she was starting a fight with me. And so I didn't know what to do. And everyone's like, that's Sonny Francisi's daughter. You better watch out, this and that. And I was like, oh, my God. So it was a whole big thing. Like everybody, we left. And everyone said, you should be afraid of her because who her father is. And I was like, I should probably get my own little, wise guy. But it was like a joke, actually. So the next week we went back, of course, went to 231. I think Thursday night was the night to go there. And in walks this gorgeous guy from the Bronx, really good looking, handsome, with a mustache and green eyes. Back then, mustaches were a big thing. And tall, handsome. And my friend said to me, you know who that is? That's Vinny. I'm not going to say his name because my daughter gets mad at me.
Okay.
And he's from the Bronx, and he's, the phrase would be, he's like that. And I was like, oh, and one thing led to another, and he sent over champagne, and I was like, oh, I'm going to get myself my own little wise guy, and then I don't have to worry about Gia anymore. And that's actually what ended up happening was I started going out with Vinny. One thing led to another. We ended up going out. I ended up getting pregnant.
Okay, wait, before we get there. So Gia is essentially a matchmaker. So
Gia became a matchmaker.
Wow, good on Gia.
Yes.
Also, did you watch mob movies up until this point? Like, did you know about the good, the bad, and the ugly of it?
Sort of.
Okay.
Because it was just the environment.
Yes.
Right? So I knew a little bit, but not to the extent. It wasn't like, oh my God, I saw Godfather. Oh my God. Like, not really.
Yeah.
I knew about it, but like it wasn't. My whole life was going out to clubs and doing nails, and like it wasn't part of my fabric yet.
Okay. So when you
really
and Vinny
wasn't.
start dating, how does he present this to you? I know he said, I'm like that, but
Yeah.
what did he explain about the life and the rules that like you probably had to follow?
When he brought me back to his house in the Bronx, I immediately knew, okay, this is a different lifestyle than I am used to, because his mother completely, accommodated his dad. His dad was, this big Carmine. And I was like, what do you mean big Carmine? Like everybody had nicknames.
Yes.
They did everything together. And all his father's friends all had nicknames. And little by little, he would tell me things, and he would let me know that things were just different.
Mm-hmm.
And then little by little, Vinny would tell me, this is how it is. This is how it's going to be. This is what we do. This is how my family is. And I just took to it. I have to say, I really loved being with his family because they had a very close family. And my family wasn't as close as his family was. And I really liked the Sunday dinners and actually dinner every night. And by the way, I was pregnant.
Yes.
So I was like happy to be taken in by
Taken
his
care
family.
of.
And they were very good to me during that time.
Yeah.
So
It's so interesting to me because I feel like you're anything but subservient, and that must have been so hard for you to really.
well, I
fall
had
in
lived
line.
on my own already, by the way.
Yeah.
For 4 years. I moved out of my mother's house when I was 18 and got my own apartment with a friend of mine. And so I was already living on my own for 4 years.
So
Well,
that's
3.5.
even harder.
So it was weird that, I would end up with someone who had never lived on his own, who was completely, a mama's boy,
Yeah.
and, almost just like a child. And it was just a completely foreign situation to me. But I don't know, I just kind of was accepting of everything at first, and then things kind of fell apart
Yes.
when we got married.
Yeah.
Things
So
fell
before you
apart
got
quickly.
married, though, what was he like as a boyfriend and a fiance?
We're digging deep here, aren't we?
Yeah. Yep. We're going right in.
It's hard for me to talk about. I will say this: it's hard for me to talk about my ex-husband because it's my daughter's father,
Totally get that.
and I don't want to say anything really against him too much because she's very close with her father.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say anything too bad about her father, but he was a good boyfriend. Okay, he was a good boyfriend. But once we got married, things changed, as they often do when people get married, and it was difficult to be married to him.
Yeah.
It was difficult to be married to him. And I was very independent. I worked, I continued to do nails up until my daughter was born, basically. I mean, I think I worked until maybe 3 weeks before she was born. I
Wow.
think, maybe. I don't really remember. I kind of blocked out a lot of that
Yeah.
part of my life.
Yeah.
But it was a very hard situation. I actually left my ex-husband when Danielle was 9 months old.
That is so brave. Unbelievable.
Like, I was out.
Yeah.
I was like, see ya later.
Yeah.
Bye.
Is that like something you don't do though when you're like that?
I think they let me go very easily
Okay.
because, in my opinion, and I've been told that's not why, but I had a daughter.
Yeah.
I didn't have a little Carmine Junior, Carmine,
Yeah.
which I would have had to name. If I had a son, I had to name it Carmine.
Yeah.
I didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
So I think they were like, yeah, bye.
Did his
That-
mom ever like sit you down and say like, you got to fall in line or this isn't going to work?
No, his mother, who I was very close to while I was dating Vinny,
Yeah.
like we were so close. But as soon as I got pregnant and we announced we would get married, it was like a switch flipped. She just became like, I never felt like I was good enough or that I measured up. And I became the Irish one, which, by the way, I'm half Irish and half Italian. That was so weird to me. And
Yeah.
by the way, his mother is Italian, Puerto Rican. So that always cracked me up. I was like, how you call me the Irish one? You're Puerto Rican.
Yes.
Anyway, so it was a really difficult time for me.
Yeah.
It was a really difficult time for me.
Did your family understand what Vinny and his dad did?
They did, but I think my mom was so wrapped up in my other, like I said, I have 4 brothers and a sister, and they had their problems.
Yeah.
And I was never a problem. I was never a problem child
Yeah.
to my parents. So, and I was always hyper independent.
Yeah. Yeah. I could tell that for sure.
So my mom never had to worry about me, and I never wanted my parents to worry about me.
Yeah.
So when it was time for me to leave Vinny, I just left. And by the way, I paid for my divorce and I paid for my annulment. I have an annulment
Wow. Okay,
from the
wait.
Catholic Church, yeah.
Before we get to that, being a mob wife and a mob girlfriend, I love Goodfellas. And there's a scene in Goodfellas where Karen goes to the house with all the ladies and they say, like, the ladies are only friends with each other, no outsiders. Is it like that in real life?
Is it like that in real life? So I was probably more like a Karen.
Yeah. Well, Karen.
Sharon. I was probably more like a Karen because I wasn't.
You're like, what are these? What? How
Yeah,
is
I
this
wasn't.
happening?
I wasn't really friends with a lot of Vinny's friends' wives. I met a couple of them, but we never really connected. And I stayed friends with all of my friends
Yeah.
who were not like that.
Nice.
And I always, again, maintained my independence and maintained my own autonomy. Yeah. And because I was not brought up in that life. And I was not, I never really was one of them.
Which is so interesting because, like, I get it. I get the appeal of the life and the power and the glam and the champagne and furs and all of that. Knowing that it's not that, though, what made you continue to date people in
That's an
the mob
interesting,
world?
that's a great question, and I will answer that for you because what happened was when I left Vinny and moved back to Long Island, what happened was, interestingly, everybody knew that I was Carmine's daughter-in-law. That's Carmine's daughter-in-law.
Yeah.
That's Vinny's ex. It's Carmine's daughter-in-law. That's Vinny's ex. So normal guys would not come over to me. Or if they did, within minutes, they were like, oh, you're,
Yeah.
see ya. Like they didn't want anything to do with me because they knew that I was so-and-so's ex. The only men that would actually talk to me were those kind of guys.
Wow.
Right. So, yeah, I could be in a room with 1,000, I'm using numbers, I'm being hypothetical.
Yes.
1,000 men, 999 of them are Jewish, and there's one Italian wise guy. That's the guy that'll come over to me and talk to me.
Yes, I get it. It's the
Yeah,
look, it's the
just-
appeal. And again, they're also attracted to the glam and the glitz because
Yeah,
that fits within the lifestyle.
Yeah, that would be the one, to be like, oh, baby doll, you want a bottle of champagne? How you doing? And that would be,
I love it.
And
I
that would-
do. I love it so much. Like mob movies, it's my favorite genre. The life is fascinating.
It's
to me.
very fascinating. And you know what? It's a very sexy thing to me when a man walks in a room and I was able to, I caught the last era.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to, because of my age, and it was like the last great era, last great phase. They still dressed. They wore the best clothes. They drove the best cars. They smelt great. They looked great, and they carried themselves in a certain way. They didn't walk in wearing a sweat. Well, they wore sweatsuits during the day, but they didn't go out at night looking like schlubs
Yeah.
with their baseball hat turned backwards and looking like idiots. They were gorgeous, and just they carried themselves a certain way, and they just, I'm a strong woman. I've always been a tough little firecracker. And so to have someone just be a little bit tougher than me,
Yeah.
like, it was a turn on.
Yeah.
And, it's nice. You go to work the next day after you go to dinner and there's a dozen roses are delivered. Like, nobody does that anymore.
No.
I haven't had flowers sent to me.
Someone
Forget about
send
it.
Sharon flowers.
Oh, forget it. Down here, a bunch of fucking clowns.
Yes. I can't wait to
So
hear
it's-
about Sharon in Florida, where we're going to get
Oh,
there for
please,
sure.
Please. It's like, that's why I'm single.
It's such an interesting juxtaposition, though, because you have these tough mobsters, but there's always another side to them. And that fascinates me. There's like the softer side.
The next person that I ended up with was someone named Ronnie Trucchio. Okay?
Yes.
They call him One Arm. Everybody goes, One Arm. Ugh. So Ronnie, it was funny when we were together because, I'm a little peanut, barely 5'2", and Ronnie's 6'4".
Yeah.
And from One Arm, why is he called One Arm? Because his right arm was atrophied, and he would keep his arm, he would keep it in his pocket, and
Okay.
he did everything with his left.
Okay.
So
So I was
One
going to ask you, like, you got to ask, how did Ronnie become Ronnie One Arm?
Right.
Okay.
So he never actually told me what happened to his arm. So there were many different, he never told me. We never talked about it. Ever.
Wow. What a lore.
I know. So there were many different stories. Some, people say it was this, it was that. I personally believe that he may have been born like that
Yeah.
because it was just atrophied.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
You'll have to find out from somebody else.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to sit here and
Google it.
I really don't know. But Ronnie was so good to me, so kind to me. Now, don't get me wrong, I saw his ugly side too.
Yes.
But we were together a long time, and he actually broke up with me. And he did it in the kindest way any man could ever break up with a woman.
Yeah.
He had already been married. He already had grown children. He didn't want any more children. And he took me out to dinner, beautiful restaurant, and said, "Kid, I love you and I'll always be here for you, but you need to go get married. You need to go have more babies. You are a good girl, and I can't do this for you.
Yep.
I'll always be here for you," and he always was until he went away. And he went away for a long time, and we stayed. He called me once a week, and we emailed, and I was there for him and everything. Right now, it's sad. I'm so sad to say that he got out a year ago, and when he got out, he ended up meeting someone, and the woman, us Italian women, she told him, "I don't want you talking to anybody." He called me and he said, "Listen, I met somebody. I love her. I want to be with her." He's up in New York.
Yeah.
And he said, "She does not want me talking to anybody." So right now, we are not in communicate. Can you imagine?
No.
The whole time he was away, it breaks my heart, actually. I could cry talking about it because
Yeah. No, honestly, like
I miss him.
Yeah. And all the
And-
research I ever did on you, like I know, like they say, so you're in a documentary, I Married a Mobster. In it, your friend says that is the love of her life. And you
Yeah, it
talk
makes
about
me
him in
so
such high
sad.
regard. And I'm so sorry. That is
Yeah.
truly heartbreaking. It really is.
It's sad to me, but I told him, I said, "Ronnie, I understand because I'm not the one. So go do what you got to do. But if it doesn't work out with her, please, call me."
Yeah.
So I
So,
hope he's okay because he was not well. He got out on compassionate release. That's why he got out,
wow.
for compassionate release. So I hope he's okay. If anybody knows,
Yeah.
could let me know.
Yeah.
So, I was in touch with his nephew, but I don't want to, I don't want to do anything that's not cool. So
Yeah.
anyway,
I have a logistic question
Yeah.
about Ronnie. He was in the same family as your ex.
right.
How does that work out? Is it like,
No,
are
they
you
were-
untouchable or it's fine?
Yeah, no, it was okay because Ronnie was very well respected.
Okay. Okay.
So that was okay.
Was Vinny ever like, you're with this guy now? Like, what do you mean?
No, it was sanctioned. It was
Yes.
approved.
Wow. And it has to be like
Yeah, no.
formally approved, right?
Well,
Like,
I don't know.
yes, the inner workings.
Yeah, because it's not like I was invited to the sit down or anything.
Yes.
But no, because Ronnie's very well respected.
Yes.
So it was okay.
Yeah. Wow. So it's so interesting to me that you just stayed in this lifestyle. Like as if like Vinny and Carmine and that whole thing wasn't enough, you jumped kind of right back in.
Well, it was, what do you do? Become a nun?
Right.
I mean, I guess I could have. I could
The
have
convent was full. You would be an amazing nun, Sharon. I would love that.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yes. 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 Maybe you'll play one in a movie. Yes.
Maggie May?
Oh my gosh.
No. Yeah. I would be I was horrible in Catholic school. I used to steal 10 packs of gum and bring them to school and sell them individually in Catholic school.
Entrepreneurship from the jump.
I'm a little criminal.
What?
I was a criminal when I was a child.
Yes. Well, speaking of criminal activity, it's so fascinating to me that you can talk about this stuff. Do you ever get nervous talking about it?
No.
Why is that?
Because not to be cliche, but the truth will set you free.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you gotten any backlash? Like
only from my ex-husband Vinny.
Okay.
From when I Married a Mobster. I spoke of Vinny, of course, Ronnie, who actually, he was away when that show came out, and I was nervous because I know what he or his family at the time. His mom was alive. I was very close with his mother, and his sister, who was also alive at the time. They were so happy with how Ronnie was portrayed because no one ever said anything nice about him.
Yeah.
And I had nothing but nice things to say about him. I still do. I mean, and then, of course, the reason I ended up in South Florida, which was the third person I ended up with who was a fucking monster, Joe Calley, whose real name is William Joseph Calley.
Wow.
That's his real name.
Okay.
And he was Genovese, and he was not a good person. So
let's get into that if we can.
We can talk about that. So, and he was not sanctioned, and Ronnie even told me when Ronnie heard I was with that guy, he was like, what are you? Ronnie even sent me a letter from jail.
Wow.
He said, what are you doing?
Is it because they're of different, because I know Ronnie was Gambino.
Ronnie and my ex-husband were Gambinos. This guy was a Genovese.
Is that a situation? Because are they nervous that you have information?
It kind of was a stupid thing for me to do.
Okay.
But I'm embarrassed to say this, but I could say it now. But we were like hot for each other. Mm-hmm. I don't know how else to put it. He was like 6'2", and he was big, and he was just as hot. We were just hot for each other. It was stupid. I was young, and I was young and dumb.
Yeah.
And he was another one. You talk about glitz and glam, forget about it. This guy, my God, his brother was a furrier in New York City. His brother John Calley. His brother was a furrier. I had more fur coats. As a matter of fact, when I left New York in the middle of the night,
mm-hmm.
I had he had just given me a coat like 3 weeks before, a custom-made mink jacket.
You better have brought that in the U-Haul.
That I never even wore yet. I sold it for $500. It was like a $5,000 jacket. I sold it to this day, I'm sick over it. You know how cute this fucking thing was? I had more fur coats. I didn't even know what to do with it. I was like Sharon Stone in Casino. Yes. I had a safe deposit box, when she was going like that and she couldn't. That's what I had. I had so much jewelry. I had things he would give it to me. I'd be like, I don't even like that. Why'd you buy me that? I don't even like it. I was like a cartoon caricature of what you would think. Remember, I lived in Long Island. You think my accent is bad now? I used to talk like this. I was like, oh my God. I would do nails like this.
Yes.
I'd be like, so let me tell you what happened to me last night. Oh my God. Like I was just, oh my God.
It's so somatic. I love it I love it so much. And by the way, New York accents are completely comforting to me. I love them so much. Even though I grew up here, I'm like, no. I feel like that's my real home.
I was a character.
Yeah.
So
take me back to the relationship with Joe, if you can. What happened during it?
Oh, God. So I had a nail salon called Hammer and Nails. Like hammer and
very
more
cute.
Nails,
I love it.
And, you could I don't even want to say it because you'll get hate mail. But But anyway, so I had this nail salon, and he was so obsessed. Oh my God, he used to drive by all day. Like if there was a man inside getting a manicure, he would be calling the salon. He would harass the customers when they would leave. He would harass me. He would just call 1,000 times a day, and he would, come in. He actually, I guess he was on steroids, although I didn't know what that was at the time. I didn't understand it. He would just, I couldn't talk to anybody. If we went to dinner, I couldn't look up at the waiter. I would have to keep my head down. If I looked up, you want to fuck that waiter? He was so, it was just such a bad time in my life. It was so bad. I couldn't have friends. I couldn't go out. I couldn't see anybody. Even my family, he would call my mother's house. If I went to visit my mom, he would start calling my mother's house. It was just so, it was so bad. He was so obsessed. I had never been through anything like that in my life, and I didn't know what to do, and I couldn't turn to anybody. I even called up my ex-husband for help, and they were like, "You're on your own."
Wow.
Like they couldn't step in because it was a boyfriend-girlfriend thing. There was nothing that I could do. And I went to the police. They wouldn't do anything because they were like, "Yeah, his lawyer plays golf with the police chief. Unless you're bleeding from every orifice, don't come back."
Yeah.
And he was smart. He never laid a hand on me.
Yeah.
Like he was never physically abusive, ever. Like never.
Emotional abuse.
Oh my God, it was.
It can be worse sometimes.
It was really bad. Like, it's hard to explain. It's so many years ago, but it got to the point where I said, if I don't leave this, I'm gonna,
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the point where I was at. I was literally, and I had my daughter, and all I kept thinking was, I can't do what I'm thinking about doing because I have a daughter to raise, and I can't let this guy push me to that.
Yeah.
That's like where I was at. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And my customers were upset. He was harassing customers. They'd walk out and he'd be like, "What is she doing in there?" He actually, there was a bank diagonally across the street, and I would make deposits every day. He was harassing the girls in the bank. Like, it was so bad.
It's unthinkable and so hard. I mean, that's truly stalking.
No, I have a lifetime restraining order.
Yeah, which is incredible.
But
That's
I
a
could
very
only
hard
get
thing
it
to
down
get.
here.
Okay. So Florida is good for something.
Florida. Oh, they were salivating, which I didn't even I couldn't understand it because when I came down here, I was so beaten down and so, like I had a twitch. You know what I mean? Like I used to shake. And women in distress, I shout out women in distress.
Yes.
Shout out to women in distress. So when I moved down here, I mean, we could talk for hours about this. So when I first moved down here, I moved to Lighthouse Point.
Yes.
This is how bad it was.
Yes.
And I went to real estate school. And God, we could talk about this for
Before
hours.
we get there, though,
Yeah.
talk to me about how you got out, what you did.
Well, he said he was actually coming to Florida.
Yeah.
We used to come back and forth to Florida. We had an apartment on Isle of Venice. And so we used to come down to Florida once a month. So I knew I wanted to move to Florida because I loved Florida. And I knew I wanted to get away from him. But P.S., I have this nail salon. I have my daughter. I didn't know what to do. But he said he was going away for a weekend. And I called up my friend Marianne, and I'm like, "I'm leaving." She was like, "What do you think I had an accent?" She was like, "What are you talking about? You can't leave Florida." I mean, New York. Anyway, so I said, "No, I'm leaving. I have to leave. I'm going to leave. I'm going to pack up. You have to help me pack up, and I'm leaving." She said, "What about the nail salon?" "I don't give a fuck about the nail salon." I called the girls who worked for me, each one of them, and I said, "I'm leaving." "What do you mean you're leaving?" "I'm leaving. You take the nail salon, do what you want with it." "What are you talking about?" And I did. I literally left.
Yeah.
Packed the U-Haul, moved to Florida, did not know where I was going. Like, literally didn't know where I was going.
Just drove south.
Just
Did you
threw
tell your family?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I called, but my mom and dad had already moved they were living in Pennsylvania. Like, I had nobody.
Wow.
I had no family in New York.
What did Vinny and Carmine say about this?
They didn't give a shit.
Okay.
I was already divorced.
Even though you had your daughter with you?
They didn't care.
Okay.
They were like, bye. They didn't care. Nobody cared. No, actually, I shouldn't say that because I didn't want to pull Danielle out in the middle of the school year.
Yeah.
So I called my ex-husband up and I said, listen, I'm leaving and I don't want to pull Danielle out of school. And I asked him if he would let Danielle, would he keep Danielle and like let her continue with the school year? And he did.
Nice.
And he
Okay.
did.
Because I pictured her in the U-Haul. So that's good.
No.
At least you had time to
No.
like come down. So
Yeah.
you just drive south. And where do you end up?
Lighthouse Point.
Okay. Just knocking on doors or
Well,
like,
I drove around.
okay.
And, you know, they always had, back then it was a lot easier. You could literally, like, there's a for rent sign. And I found a duplex. And I moved into, and I didn't even know what a you know, New York, a duplex meant like up and down. No, duplex down here is side by side. And I moved into this shitty little duplex. And it was just so bad. I hated it. Paid first, last, and security. I had everything cash. And I thought I was so smart because I got a cell phone from New York with a 516 area code. Thought I was so smart. He'll never find me, you know. And I ended up going to real estate school, not realizing that in real estate school they fingerprint you. And his best friend, you guys are not going to recognize his name, although you might, Bo Deedle.
Of course. Are
Okay,
you
he
kidding
was
me?
his
Bo
fucking
Deedle is a legend in Real Housewives
okay.
of New Jersey
Okay,
history.
well, he was his best friend. And at the time, he was a PI.
You guys, all roads lead back to
mobster
Bravo.
Okay?
Yes.
So you guys all might love him, and he's a big celebrity in New York now, but I fucking hate that guy.
Yeah.
I hate you, Bo.
Yes.
Everybody loves him, but I do not like him.
Yes.
And he found me because I was a dumbass and got fingerprinted. So I'm sitting there like a little jerk off
Yeah.
in real estate school, and all of a sudden my beeper, because we had beepers, and my beeper's going 911, 911.
Wow.
And I knew as soon as it started 911, and I looked down and then I started twitching in real estate school.
How
then-
long did it take you before you stopped being nervous all the time that he was going to pop up? Like, was there a time? Were you just living on edge that entire time when you first got to Florida?
Yeah, it took a long time. It took a really long time for me to stop being worried that I was going to run into him.
Yeah. That had to be so.
But I was never I never worried he was going to do something to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have fear, maybe the traditional way that a woman would have fear of a stalker or somebody in that life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have a concealed weapons permit. I have a Beretta. I probably, I don't know what the word is. I don't have that kind of fear.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I should,
Mm-hmm.
because maybe something would happen to me. I don't know. But,
Thank God nothing did, though. So you get that 911 beep.
I get the 911 beep, and then I forget because he was out in the parking lot
Mm-hmm.
in his rented Jaguar.
Did you know? Did you just have a feeling and go
No, I
outside
knew-
and see him?
Yeah, I knew I had to get out there. I had to wait for the break. And I went out and, you know, just so defeated. Walked up to the car, you know, and I remember the window going down. And I was like, how did you find me? And he said, what do you mean, how did I find you?
Yeah.
You got fingerprinted. Are you serious? And he said his famous line, you're mine. You're mine, Sharon. Nobody can have you. You're mine.
That is more terrifying, I feel like, than any hit that one could ever
Yeah.
take. Like that, what
And I
does that
just-
do to you mentally?
I just felt so defeated.
Yeah.
I ended up going back with him.
Okay.
I went
What
back.
is that relationship like, though? Because you must,
Just horrible.
and
Just-
you're
I-
also not someone who like minces words.
No,
so
I
you
just
must be like,
detested him so much. Like, I just hated him so much. And I
Yeah.
ended up going back to New York. But for like a minute.
okay, where'd you go then?
Right back to Franklin Square.
Okay.
He got me an appointment. It was so funny, too, because I ran, got my daughter. You know, we were so happy because,
Yeah.
you know, we're together. But we were both like, we're going to get out of here. And we would set, like, traps to make him trip. And, like,
Oh my God, it was Home
like, I wish
Alone.
she
Yes.
if she could call in right now, we would be laughing so hard.
How old is she at this time?
It's so hard for me to remember. I have it so like 10,
Yeah, yeah.
something like that. 10 or 11. Yeah. And then, but I immediately, like, I'm not joking. I went back to New York, got Danielle. We fucked with him so much. He was like, get out.
What did you do?
Like,
Tell me.
and then
You set up the traps. Did he ever
we moved
fall?
Danielle and I moved right back to Florida. Yeah.
What? So tell me what you ended up putting him through, because that's like a very comedic
I don't know. I
part of the
remember
story.
we had this apartment on the second floor of a house. Like we took Barbie doll, like we took a rope and put it across, you had to walk upstairs, and we put Barbie dolls, like, and he tripped over and almost fell down the stairs. Like we put like vegetable oil on the floor, and he was.
Wait, this truly is Home Alone. I'm dying.
Like we were, but we would do it like, it was like 1 month of a reign of terror.
Debauchery, yeah.
Yeah, and then he was like, just, get out.
You're like, I'm gonna annoy the shit out of you so that I get to leave.
Because I hated him. I hated him so much. I hated him so much.
So you come back down to Florida with Danielle. When do you get the restraining order?
Well, then I went to court. I went to court. Women in Distress, was great. They helped me through everything. We did depositions and all this crazy stuff because he was calling my house, my apartment, hundreds of times a day. I mean, hundreds. And they had set up a phone trap, like literally like a thing on my phone. They called it a phone trap, and they logged the phone calls.
Wow.
Like hundreds of phone calls. So they had him for aggravated stalking.
I have to say, one of the things that amazes me so much about your story is you sought help. Like you went to Women in Distress.
Oh, yeah.
That is such a sign of strength.
Well,
the
court assigned.
Okay.
They literally assigned, like, I had a caseworker. Mm-hmm. I had to go to, I guess what they call therapy. I had a counselor.
Yeah.
And she was amazing. But this is all back in 2001, 2000.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I guess 2000. Maybe even 1999.
So way back.
I don't remember
then,
what year. I have in my purse. I could show you. I have it on a piece of paper. My case number that I don't go anywhere without it.
In case you have to reference it.
Yeah, because he could walk in here right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if he's alive or dead or.
You really have no idea.
No.
Fascinating. So you got the restraining order. Is he poof gone then? Or?
No, that didn't stop him. It was like no. What stopped him was I ended up meeting who ended up becoming my second ex-husband. And this, as soon as I told Joe that I was getting married, he said, "Why didn't you tell me?" And I said, okay. And he said, I'm not going to call you anymore. Something to that effect. And I was like, what? He goes, yeah, I didn't know you were getting married.
So that was like an unspoken rule
so
that
weird.
you didn't know.
It was, I wish I had, if I would have known that would have made him stop calling me, I would have told him I was getting married. I would have lied to him.
Married anyone. Why not? Just get yourself out, because that is a rule within the life that if you cannot be with someone who is married, correct?
Yes, supposedly.
Yeah.
I mean, they will have gumadas and whatever, but
yes.
I mean, it was really weird. He stopped bothering me.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really weird.
So let's talk about Jim. Were you done with the mobster thing?
Yeah.
And also you're in South Florida now, so it's not as prevalent here.
Yeah, I really wanted to get away from all of that. That's why I left New York, to get away from it and reinvent myself, which I think I successfully did.
Yes, you did. So
and
tell
Jim
me what
was
you did.
a big part of that. He really helped me, and we're still friends to this day.
Yes.
We work together. We have a business together. We do.
And I know that you explained your whole life story to Jim, and what did he say?
He didn't care.
Yeah. Yep.
He did not care. He didn't care one bit. And he even got on the phone once with Joe and was like, come on, I got a baseball bat with your name on it. Like he was, he didn't care.
Is he still like that today? Because I know you guys work together. You are still friends.
Yeah, I mean, he's, he was never married before he met me, and he never married after we parted.
Yeah. Wow. And you still have never heard from Joe again.
No.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
That's
really
incredible.
amazing. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. He's actually very friendly with my first ex-husband.
Interesting.
They're friends. Yeah, they're friendly.
So can people in different families be
Oh, yeah.
friends? That's
Yeah.
a thing? Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I never really understood their friendship.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of odd, but my ex-husband doesn't carry any flowers for me because of when I married a mobster.
Yeah.
So, he, just,
He was not happy about that move.
no, he was not happy with me for that.
Wow. Okay. Let's get into the reinvention of Sharon.
Yeah, so I was determined to reinvent myself. That was the purpose of me leaving Florida. I really wanted to get away from all of that. Like, I left Florida to get away from all of that. I did not want to do that anymore. Like I said, I went to real estate school, but I did not like doing real estate school. I'm too unfiltered.
Yes. You'd be
You
like,
have
this
to
house
have
is
a
a piece
filter.
of shit and you don't want this.
Yeah, you have to have a filter to be a real estate agent. You have to be a creative liar to be a real estate agent, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's legally, you have to not tell people things. You have to be able to not tell someone, that's not a great area.
Yes. Yes. And you're like, I could
And
never.
I'd have a single mom sitting with me with 3 kids, and I'm like, you don't want to live there. I'm not allowed to do that.
Yes.
And I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this. I have to tell you the truth, and I can't do it. So I sucked at real estate. So I said, I can't do this. I went right back to doing nails. And when I was doing nails, that's when I met a woman named Eileen, may she rest in peace, who was like, you have to meet this guy, Jim. And that's how I ended up meeting Jim. And subsequently ended up marrying Jim. And so I was able to pursue acting,
Which
was a lifelong dream.
so amazing to me because so many people would be like, I can't do that. My time has passed. And you jumped right in. I mean, you obviously have this incredible it factor that people gravitate towards and I think just want to cast you in things. But you didn't just like do local theater, which there's nothing wrong with that. You've been in some major movies. How did you learn the trade? How did you get connected to like agents and things? Like, take me on that whole journey.
Well, what happened was, so I always wanted to be an actor, okay, since I'm a child. Wasn't allowed to. And then when Jim and I got divorced and my daughter moved back to New York, so I was like, at a crossroads. What does Sharon want to do? I said, well, maybe now is the time for me to pursue acting that I've always wanted to do. So I ended up taking an acting class with a prominent casting director down here. And at the end of the 3-day workshop, I asked her just bluntly, like, is this something that I should pursue? Because if it isn't, I'll go study radiology or something. And she said, I never tell anybody what to do because that's not my job, but you have really good instincts and do with that what you will. And I was like, that's enough for me.
Yes, yes. Green light, go.
So, so I went and I got headshots and I went to, looking for an agent. And in South Florida, it's a non-union state, so you can have as many agents as you want. There's no exclusivity. And interestingly enough, every agent I went to were like, what are you going to do about your accent? And what are you going to do about your teeth? Because at the time, I had really crooked teeth, which I never knew I had crooked teeth. Because I used to look in the mirror and go, I love myself.
Yes. Leave it to the
And
agents
I didn't
to rip you to
know
shreds.
that I was so fucked up. I had all these people telling me how horrible I was. So I went and got Invisaligns and I straightened my teeth. And as far as the accent goes, I told them I am not changing my accent.
Good for you.
And I would tell them all the same thing. I don't want to be Betty Crocker, and I'm not trying to be Midwest. And this is who I am, and I would like to bring me to whatever role I get cast in. I'm not trying to be a school teacher.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want those roles.
Yes.
Give those roles to the people who fit those roles. And At the time I was a platinum blonde with 34 double Ds. I'm not going to get cast in that role. So don't try to pigeonhole me into that. So I know I'm a character actor. I know I'm only going to fit certain roles. So let's just shoot for that.
Smart. So smart.
So I ended up becoming friends with someone who was somewhat of a pariah in town. I didn't really realize that, but I liked her, and she was nice to me. But what ended up happening was, because she was this pariah, it ended up hurting me, so to speak. They say you lay down with dogs, you wake up with fleas, and if I could do it over again, I probably would have approached the business differently. I didn't really realize, but again, going back to, I don't care. She's my friend, and you're not going to tell me what to do. Well, guess what? That casting director who held the keys to the city, they hated each other.
Okay.
So it hurt me professionally. So I could never get the right auditions or anything. And I ended up having to pursue my career, like, for instance, that movie that you're talking about, The Beach Bum.
So let's talk about Beach Bum, by the way, because tell me who's in Beach Bum. The cast is incredible.
The cast is incredible. So The Beach Bum was Matthew McConaughey, Zac Efron, Martin Lawrence, Snoop Dogg, Isla Fisher, Jimmy Buffett. You know, this more.
That's amazing.
There's more. There's a couple more in there. So, but my scene was specifically with Matthew McConaughey. And it was an intimate scene.
Yes, tell me all about it.
Okay, real quickly. I don't know how much time we have to talk.
Forever.
But
producer Brennan's like, no, you don't have forever.
So yeah, but the audition that I had was for a completely different scene. Okay, so I went in and I got a callback for this scene, and the callback was with the writer director Harmony Korine, who, if you don't know who that is, he's, he wrote Gummo, he wrote Spring Breakers, that's him. Now, I didn't know who he was. Again, I don't do research. I just go in, I do my thing. He's sitting on the couch. I think he's just a producer or somebody, so I don't really know anything. So as soon as I walk in, he pops up off the couch and he goes, I don't want you for this role. I want you for a completely different role. I want you for the bar scene. And I knew which scene it was. And I knew that it was a nude scene. And I knew what the scene was. And I was like, yeah, no, I don't think so, buddy. And it was
whoever you are. Yeah.
It was right around the time of Harvey Weinstein.
Okay.
And I thought he had kind of audacity to even, and all the girls that were auditioning that day were all in their 20s and like little Playboy bunnies. And here I am, 55 years old. And I'm like, dude, I know the scene. I'm not doing that scene. There was no dialogue. The scene that I was getting called back for had dialogue. I was like, no, I'm not, no. But inside of me, I'm like, Sharon, what are you doing? The guy wants you for something. So anyway, he starts laughing, and he's like, what are you talking about? This is a scene with Matthew McConaughey. It's a great scene. You two are in the... And I'm like, no, I'm not doing nudity. And I'm saying to him, I have at the time, I think my grandson was 10.
Oh.
I said, I have a 9 or 10-year-old grandson. He's going to see the movie. Is that nice? And he's like walking towards me. He's like, listen. It's a great scene. It's you. It's Matthew McConaughey. You're together. It's sex. And I'm like, oh my God. And he goes, what do I have to do? How can we make this happen? I said, I'll tell you what. If you give me dialogue, I'll see what I could do. And he starts laughing. Now, remember, he's the writer and the director, but I don't know this. Now, had I known it, I probably wouldn't have said a word. I probably would have been shaking in my boots. But I'm thinking he's just a schmo. So he's laughing, and he's like, well, I'll tell you what, if I can make sure that you get dialogue, would you do it? Would you consider it? And I'm like, I'll have my people call your people.
Love
and
this.
The casting director, whose name is Lashana, she's behind the camera, and she's like, Sharon, what are you doing? And I'm like, I don't know. Now my legs start to shake. And I normally don't get too nervous in auditions, but now I'm like, what are you doing, Sharon? You know. So anyway, he's laughing. He goes, I'll tell you what. He goes, if you come to set with that flower and that dress and those shoes and you're, you know, like exactly how you are right now, I promise you, you'll have dialogue. And I'm like, all right. So I'm thinking,
Amazing.
oh my God, I got to, like, what am I doing?
What a story about like being yourself.
But meanwhile,
will
the
get you
role
far.
was written for a 20-something-year-old.
Wow.
And that's a true story.
So when did you first meet Matthew McConaughey? Was it when you were doing the scene?
In the makeup trailer. Now, by the way, he is a method actor.
Okay.
Which means he's in character at all times.
Yep.
So when I get to the makeup trailer and it's only me and him in the makeup trailer, I'm expecting him to like want to talk to me, to like before we get to set. Not a fucking word. And I'm sitting there like, I can't believe this dude doesn't want to talk to me. I'm not going to say, hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
So we're getting our makeup done and whatever, and I'm like, oh my God. Okay, not a word. And I'm thinking, I'm getting it all in my head. He doesn't want to talk to me. What do I do? Okay, the girl doing my makeup is doing a horrible job.
That must have been fair. You're like, I got this because of me. Yeah.
Thank God I had all my stuff with me.
Yes.
She has my lashes up under my eyebrow, like horrible. Anyway, I go back to the trailer. I fix myself. I fix my hair, my extension, you know.
I got to tell you, your life is full of anxiety.
You don't even know.
But that makes me the most anxious. Forget about the mob stuff. It's the bad makeup. Yes.
P.S. I have a huge tattoo on my inner thigh, which I don't know if you're aware of that.
I was not aware of that.
Tattoo on my inner thigh. I get to set. First thing they say is, "Did you bring a release for the tattoo?" Right. See your face?
Yeah. What does that mean?
Face. Well, apparently, which nobody. If they had called me the day before, I would have gotten a release.
Of course.
I know the tattoo artist.
Yeah.
Nobody ever asked me to bring a release for the tattoo. I said, what are you talking about? They go, we need a release for the tattoo. I said, I don't have a release for the tattoo. They go, well, the makeup artist goes and gets a black Sharpie and does one of these. So now I was like, you guys are fucking killing me over here.
Not.
Right. So anyway, they do this to my leg. Sharpie.
Just color you in. Yeah.
Right. And anyway, I go to set. I'm sitting at the bar. And have you ever been on a set? Have you done any?
No.
Okay, so we're on an actual location. We're on set, and there's all background. We're at an outdoor restaurant, and I'm sitting there, and I can tell when Matthew's coming to set, and this is how you can tell, because all of a sudden there's buzzing.
Yes. Yes.
The volume of the room goes from to and I'm like, oh, here he comes. I know he's coming. And I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, I gotta be cool. I gotta be cool. Now, there's so much more to this. We could talk for hours about it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I'm like, all right. So all of a sudden, now I'm in this ridiculous outfit, by the way. It's a ridiculous outfit.
Yes.
It's a halter dress. I got a big red flower in my hair. I look like a whore.
Yeah. Yeah.
He is in an even more ridiculous outfit. He's in shorts with the matching shirt, but it's got flames and shoots and flames, and he's got glasses on that flip up. He's got long, shaggy hair with prosthetic teeth that are like fugly. He's a beach bum.
That makes me so sad because it's
hilarious.
Like it's Matthew McConaughey. It's amazing. It's perfect.
He's
yes.
Gorgeous.
Yes. And that voice.
And he's got these eyes that are the color of, I don't even know what. So anyway, so I'm sitting there like this, got my fake cocktail, and he walks up and he does this and looks at me. And I go, nice outfit. And he goes, you should talk. And I went just like this.
Incredible.
And he burst out laughing. I burst out laughing. And he said, we're going to get along just fine. And we just started talking. So we're talking for 5 minutes. We're talking about religion. We're talking about his kids. We're talking whatever we were talking about. I don't remember.
He just got out of character.
We just were talking. Harmony Korine comes up behind us. He goes, I'm going to give you two some time to get to know each other. And we both at the same time went, we're good.
We're best friends now. Yeah.
We're good. He goes, you ready? We're ready. He goes, really? We're good. He goes, great. Let's shoot. And that we just let it ripped.
That's the magic of you. That is the it factor right there.
We had fake pot
Yes.
and fake alcohol, but when I tell you we were lit up,
Oh my gosh.
we were
amazing.
shotgunning. We had so much fun. He was
Yeah. Was there an intimacy coordinator on set?
no,
Okay.
and I didn't want one.
Yes. Yes.
I'm too grown ass for that.
Yes.
I don't. That was stupid.
Yes.
So at the bar, everybody's there. But
Mm-hmm.
when it was time for sex scene, which was in the back in the kitchen, that was a closed set. So before we get in the back, he says to me, Miss Sharon, I need to know what you're comfortable with.
Oh.
And I said, Mr. Matthew, I'm going to break character for a second. He goes, oh no, please don't. Please don't break character. I said, I'm not married. You are.
Yes.
What are you comfortable with? Because
Yeah. What did he say? Because I know he's
he
a
went
big
just,
family guy.
what did he say? Let me tell you what he said. He went just like this. He went, woohoo!
Oh my gosh. Amazing.
And we had so much fun. We went, he didn't even know what not to do. He was like, can I put you up on the cooler? And he was picking, I mean, we had so much fun. And he's the one who said, can we go in the bathroom? And can we do this? And can we do that? He was smacking me with a spatula.
Wow.
At one point, you didn't see the movie, so
I'm going to watch it.
so there's at
The
one
beach
point,
bum, not
he
beach bum.
actually breaks out laughing, and you'll see it in the film. He's genuinely laughing because he was hitting me so hard with the spatula, and it was hurting.
Oh my God.
You don't see me,
Yeah.
but I turn around, he's spanking me, and I'm like, what are you doing back there? Making a hamburger? Or I say, making a cheeseburger or whatever I say to him. And he bursts out laughing because like it was really funny. But the whole thing is funny. And it's all, we were improvising because I didn't know, like I'm banging a bell, you know. I mean, it's just.
How long did it take to film that scene?
Well, we were only supposed to be on set for like an hour.
Yeah.
And it was like 4 hours.
What a dream.
Yeah. And I was nude.
That is, wow.
And he had on was his shirt and a cup. He had his underwear
Wow.
pulled down. So everyone's like, did you really?
Yeah. Did you see the
He
goods?
did not.
Okay.
And I did not.
Okay.
But he was, you know,
Close enough.
close enough that I could go. I was telling everyone afterwards,
Yes.
like, I could die right now.
Yes.
And be very happy.
This is amazing. Like, what an incredible, incredible story.
It was just, you know, like, it was fun.
You are such a testament to being yourself and how that gets you far. Like, you really are.
I mean, I'm sure a lot of your viewers are going to be like, she's a whore. And I'm like, 55,
Get
Matthew
it.
McConaughey,
Yeah.
role written for a 20-year-old. I'm happy.
Yeah. Also, P.S.
You know.
we are a no judgment podcast. Like, I've had many sex workers on. I respect it beyond. And you're not a sex worker. You were on set with Matthew McConaughey. Like, that's everyone's dream. Like, that is
You know what?
incredible.
Oscar winner.
Yes.
You know, I was really happy. You know, the film didn't do anything here in the States. It did very well in Europe. I still get residuals. And, you know, it was Matthew McConaughey. I could take that to the grave. And then from there, I ended up working on Bad Boys 3,
Yep.
which was, you know, a very small role. It was a lot of fun as well. And I've had, you know, small roles in other little, you know, TV shows and little things. Not anything amazing, but any day on set for me, no matter what it is, whether it's an independent film, TV show, commercial, industrial, theater, whatever it is, I'm so grateful and so happy, and I always feel so blessed. That is my happy place. Even being here
Yeah.
with you,
I love
this
it.
is my happy place. Here with Ben, here, just anytime I can interact with another creative, that's my happy place.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So before we go, I want to talk about From Brooklyn to Boca.
Thank you.
Tell me all about it. I want to see it. Where can I find it? Tell me
From
how
Brooklyn
it came
to
about.
Boca was an idea I've had in my head for many years. Now it's probably about 12 years. And originally the thought I had myself was that it would be a TV show. Okay, From Brooklyn to Boca. And it was loosely inspired on my life. And what is Brooklyn to Boca? It's a story about Regina. Regina means queen in Italian. Regina married to Frank. Forget about Frank, who's half a wise guy. And they end up going into witness protection because Frank gets pinched for the second time and does not want to go away. He doesn't even want to go away for a minute. He does not want to be away from his wife or his son, Carmine. Carmine.
Shout out to Carmine, father-in-law.
Carmine, exactly, literally. And they end up they were supposed to go to Iowa, and at the last minute that gets changed, and they get sent to Boca.
Yes.
Mouth of the rat.
Yes.
And they get sent to Boca, and they not only have to change their name, but they have to become Jewish. And that's where all the comedy comes in. But for me, it was like almost, it's a story about family, it's a story about love, it's a story about identity, and it's a story about acceptance. Accepting of who you are, where you are, and accepting of other people and who they are. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, I hate to give away the story, but I want to because it's important, especially today, and how relevant it is.
Yep.
At the end of the movie, the TV show, the play, everybody becomes Jewish.
I have such tears in my eyes as a Jewish girl. You have no idea how much that
Everybody becomes Jewish, right? I'm not Jewish, obviously.
Yeah.
But I know more Yiddish than any shiksa should ever know. And I love my Jewish friends. And I stand with Israel. And I know that's not the thing to say today.
Right.
But I do.
Thank you for saying that.
And I get teary because I don't understand.
No,
I don't understand.
Allyship
I don't
means
understand
everything. Yeah.
the hatred.
Yep.
Why can't everybody just get along?
Yep.
And why does anybody care what anybody else worships? I don't understand it.
Yes.
So, with all that being said, that is what From Brooklyn to Boca is about. And it's just about love. Mm-hmm. Right?
I love
it. Doesn't matter, where you park your car.
Yeah. I love that so much. Where can we find it?
Well, you really can't find it anywhere because, we did the premiere of the play last year. We sold out almost every show, but we don't have it anywhere. We don't have the funding to make it into a movie, which I am sad about that. And to make it into a TV show, how the hell do you do that?
But maybe someone will hear it. You never know.
You never know.
I mean, you've made amazing things happen.
You never know.
Sharon, you are so incredible. We didn't even get into your stand-up career. We could talk for hours.
Yes, we could.
Thank you
so
much for being here.
Thank
You also have a podcast. Can we talk about that? So it's called...
We Talk Funny.
Yes, I need
you
to
say
Podcast
it.
Yes, yes.
Obviously you can find it on all the streaming platforms, Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts. And, we're on Instagram. We're everywhere where you can find us. And it's at We Talk Funny Podcast.
Yes.
So,
we'll post our Instagram handle. Thank you so much for being here and being so raw and open with me. You are absolutely amazing.
Thank you so much. Love you.
Thank you so much. And thank you all for listening. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Shut Up, Tell Me More. You can find us on Instagram at Shut Up, Tell Me More. Remember to subscribe to the podcast. If you listen on Apple Podcasts, go to the show page and click the follow plus sign. If you listen on Spotify, click the follow button. You can also find us on YouTube. You'll automatically receive new episodes as they come out, as well as updates. Doing this also helps me algorithm land, so thanks in advance. Lastly, give me a 5-star review, and I'll be so grateful. See you in the next one.